Foraging and exploration are a major part of many farming games. Last devlog, I started work on my brand new slime farming game. The game so far is great, but there's no reason to go out and explore. So today we're gonna make a brand new foraging system that's gonna make you wanna explore each and every day. The last video I showed off a weird combat system, which was the way you get seeds in the game. Since uploading the video, I've had a lot of comments about how the combat system looks a little bit clunky and it doesn't really fit with the overall theme of the game. So I pulled out my notebook and brainstormed different ways for you to get seeds. I eventually came up with an awesome idea that there would be a foraging system where each day you will find new items out in the wilderness and you can go forage for them and take them back to your farm. I started by making the partner Gelli able to be fed, and instead of producing money the next day, it produces money on the spot. I jumped over to Unity and the system is working perfectly. In addition to allowing your partner Gelli to be fed, I also removed all of the combat from the game. This new system will allow you to be able to explore and get whatever seeds you want without having to rely on whatever fusion your Gelli is and how much damage it can do. After that, I decided I wanted to work on the foraging. So I opened up a sprite and I started drawing a sprout that you can harvest to find seeds. Back in Unity, I made a new game object for the sprout. With these wild items, they have a new mechanic, so I made a new script for it. The basic idea for the sprout is that every single day you can find them out in the wild, and when you pull them, they can drop random items, basically things like seeds or even leaves. I hop back into Unity to test it, and it's broken. Time to get back to the drawing board. I went back into Unity pretty confident it would work, and it worked, but it didn't with two of them. A little bit of debugging later, and now the system completely works. It even allows having multiple different random drops, so I can get leaves or I can get seeds. I talked about it in my first devlog, but in the future I want to add crafting to the game. And I wanted the crafting to be resource based. So one of the first resources that you'll be able to collect is wood. And I didn't want you to walk around with the axe chopping down trees. It didn't really seem to fit the whole foraging aspect of the game. So I came up with an approach where you pick up logs and you throw them on the ground and they break and they smash into sticks, and you can pick up those sticks and use them for crafting. I finished up the drawing of the log and headed back over to Unity. Once back into Unity, I made an object for the log item. I had to create a new script for this item because it's completely different to the sprouts we just made. Similar to the sprouts, the log will have a chance to spawn every day, and differently to the sprouts, you can actually pick the log up, so I had to incorporate it into my already made grabbing system. Instead of going straight to picking it up, I made a quick button press to test to see if the item explosion works. And it looks awesome. Next came the hard part, incorporating it into the grabbing system. Here goes the first attempt at grabbing, and nothing happened. Back to coding. It's still broken. Should work this time. Nope. It's been like 2 hours. It should work now. Okay. Oh, finally. This is a huge win for me, being able to carry the log around, but we still can't throw it. Now that the log is fully throwable, all we have to do is hook it up to the item explosion. Now when you throw the log, it explodes into seeds, but obviously we don't want it to be exploding into seeds, so we're going to have to make a new wood item. I started work on the sprite for the wood resource. I didn't really know what I wanted it to look like. I already had a log in the game, and it would be weird if you could pick up the log and then the log would drop smaller logs. I also didn't want to make it wooden planks, and I also didn't want to make it chunks of wood, so I decided to go for a stick with a leaf on it. Next, I hopped back into Unity and made a new item for the wood resource. After that, I set the log to drop the wood when it's broken. I hop back in the game to test it out, and it works perfectly. We now have the start to an awesome foraging system and the start to an awesome new resource system for crafting. Even though the game is really early in development, I think it's a really good time to start making the game look a little bit prettier. I started by finding a nice pixel font online and I added it into the game. Now the placeholder UI looks a little less ugly. The next order of business was to create a nice parallax effect for the background. So I opened up Visual Studio and got to working on the code. Once back into Unity, I tested it out and it's kind of working. The next order of business was creating different movement speeds for each of the layers of the background. Now they're moving at different speeds, but I think it could look a little bit nicer. Now I think I have it perfect and I'm loving the way it looks. Now we can work on adding some animations for the Gellis. Now I'm just going to say this before we even get into the process of me making this animation. I started to make these animations and then I wasn't feeling it and it was taking me a while, and then I decided to go a completely different direction for how I did the animations, but we're still gonna walk through the process of what I was trying to do to make these animations. So I got to work making some really squishy and cute animations for the Gelli. I hopped into the game to test out the idle animation, and I think it's really cute. Next, I had to go into my code to determine when the Gellis needed to do these animations, and that caused a lot of errors. Now that the errors are fixed, the Gelli is jumping. Oh god, that looks terrible. I got back to the animator to try to make this walk look a little bit better. Now it doesn't look as insane, but it's still a little bit slow, and I don't really like it that much. So I went back to trying to make the animation look better again. I went back in game and it still didn't look quite right. I tried again and this attempt looks a lot better, but I was having issues with the animations kind of not playing at the right times. I hopped back into the animator and at this point I was getting a little bit frustrated with this. The problem wasn't that it was annoying or difficult to be able to do this. The problem was that I would have had to do this for every single Gelli in the game. Now, obviously if I had 1 or 2 Gellis, it wouldn't be that big of an issue, but having to redo all of this animator and animation stuff for each of the Gellis in the game, that would have started to get really tedious and annoying. Since all of the Gellis in my game are prefabs based on the original Gelli that I created, I'm able to get away with having one animator for all of them and then just swapping the sprites out with animation events. If you don't understand what I'm meaning, basically instead of taking a 20 to 30 minute process to make animations for each Gelli, all I have to do is click a few buttons. Since adding in this system, the animations look great and I'm loving it. I even added fun stuff like a little animation of their eyes being open when you throw them. Since it's working off of all the prefabs, it even animates for all the other Gellis, so here I have a leaflet and it's animating just like the other Gellis. I didn't have to make any new animations, all I had to do was just change out a few sprites and it works. So we completed everything that we set out to do today, which is awesome. The game is looking better already, and every single devlog, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a minute to add some more polish and make it look a little bit nicer. Polish isn't exactly needed, especially since the game is in such a really early state, but I had a lot of comments saying that if the game looks better, people will like looking at it more, so that is a very fair comment. I am a content creator after all, so making the game look better is a benefit to me and to you guys. I also want to talk a little bit more about my future plans for what I want to do in the next devlog. So the next devlog, I think what I want to do is add days and seasons into the game, and I think that'll be really awesome. I'm just going to do a really cool swap, make the game look different, have different drops in different seasons. I think that'll be really awesome. The last thing that I want to say is that I'm going to be adding more resources in the future, like hardwood and stone and iron and things like that. In order to collect these materials, you're going to have upgraded gloves, so gloves are going to be a new thing I'm adding in the game. So with the default ones, you can pick up logs, and then let's say you have to upgrade them in order to pick up hardwood, and so on and so forth. Today was an awesome devlog. It was really cool to be able to add foraging into the game and an incentive to explore. Thank you so much for watching this devlog. We're actually going to be transitioning back to Luna Lane devlogs. We're going to sort of bounce in between the two. We'll probably do 2 farming game devlogs and then 2 Luna Lane devlogs. So I hope you guys are excited for that. It'll be pretty varied. It'll be pretty awesome. I hope you guys are also enjoying my brand new editing and video style. Having a ton of fun with it. It's a lot more professional. It's a lot more entertaining. And it's just all around a lot more amazing. Also want to say thank you to all my brand new subscribers. You guys are super awesome. You're showing me a ton of love. And I'm super happy to have you in the community. But that's going to be it for this video. As always, I'll see you in the next devlog.